Tony Migliarese, co-founder of Pizza Face and owner of D.O.P. Tony was destined to keep the entrepreneurial spirit of his family's restaurant business roots alive. His thirst and passion for Italian food, tasty grapes, and hospitality has served as the roadmap to his heart's compass. Pizza Face, located in Community Foods Chinook, is a small pop-up pizza shop that serves stone-baked New York-style pizzas with quality local ingredients. In 2020, Pizza Face was the only prairie pizza shop to be featured in NARCITY's top 10 pizzas in Canada. Tony's newest restaurant, D.O.P, an Italian joint, prides itself on traditional Italian recipes. D.O.P's head chef, Sandro Chinea, brings a wealth of experience and culinary knowledge while working with Tony's mother Rose to develop simple and unforgettable dishes that will keep you coming back. Throughout the world, Italian food enjoys a reputation of high quality thanks to its centuries-old traditions and dedication to excellence. One of the ways to distinguish the authenticity of an Italian product is to always check for the red D.O.P label. We're here with the incredibly talented Chef Sandro from D.O.P. What you got cooking for us today, Chef Sandro?
What we have here is a egg yolk raviolo. This is just the start of it here before I start rolling it out. This dough here is a heavy egg yolk base. It's extremely versatile. We use it for our raviolo, we use it for our spaghetti, our tagliatelle, our agnolotti, all that stuff. So what we're doing here, after a couple laminations of the dough, we're just gonna roll it out to the consistency that we want it. And once we roll it through the machine a couple times, we bring it down, thin it out, then we're able to roll it into whatever shapes we need or fill it with whatever filling we need to fill it with. And that's how we do our raviolo.
Beautiful. I would assume the notebook ravioli is quite a popular dish here at D.O.P.
Yeah, it's quite popular. Because of its size and because of the sauce and how it looks on the plate, people really like taking videos of it. Because it's filled with an egg yolk as well, it has kind of that wow factor when it hits the table and the servers cut into it. For the customers, they just, that's what people seem to like, right? Is that egg yolk oozing out and that ricotta, you know, blending in with the red wine butter sauce and all that. So, seems to be a favorite so far.
So much love goes into this process, eh?
This is something we do every day. The raviolos don't hold, so we make about 15 to 20 orders depending on the day, and when we're out, we're out.
So what was it like to spend time with Tony's mom, Rose, and learning the Migliarese's
it was nice.
Family recipes?
Yeah, it was nice. She's a very nice woman. She's I thought she was going to be a lot more strict for an Italian grandmother, but no, she was very nice. She was very patient with me and showed me the way, and yeah, it was fun. She's actually coming by this week as well, this coming Tuesday, and we're gonna put her to work again, so we'll see how it goes. Tony says put her to work, so we put her to work, you know?
So you got the ricotta here?
This is our ricotta filling. I'm just making a little bed of ricotta just so we can nestle the yolk. I'm gonna cover it with another sheet, and then that's it. So what I do is I brush it with egg wash. That way when I cook the pasta, the egg yolk and the ricotta don't come flying out, kind of thing. So this is that second pasta sheet we're talking about, just laid over top. Just to squeeze, make sure I get all the air bubbles out. So we make the pasta dough fresh every morning.
So on that note, like, who would you say are some of your biggest mentors as you grew up in the culinary scene?
The guy that taught me how to roll pasta is Christopher Hyde. He opened a lot of the restaurants in Edmonton, Corso, Barbarico, and all those restaurants. He's Italian trained. He spent a lot of time in Italy actually learning this stuff. So I'm just kind of reshaping the ricotta here just so it has that nice raviolo shape.
An Italian homage to Dune coming out this weekend in theaters locally. It's beautiful work.
Just like that. And they're all unique, right? They don't have to be perfect squares. We're only human. It's not supposed to be perfect, right? It's just a very large raviolo. Just like that.
Oh my.
So that's it. So we do maximum 20 of these a day. Keep it fresh.
Chef Sandro, you're a fan of hip hop, right?
I like hip hop, yeah.
I'm gonna name you 5 rappers.
Oh God.
And I want you to compare the rappers to a dish that's here at D.O.P.
Okay.
Number 1, Action Bronson.
Action Bronson. Bread and olive oil.
Beautiful, beautiful.
The finest olive oil, Action Bronson. When I think of him and I think food, I think his brand of olive oil, and you know, we actually have a bottle of it upstairs that we pour tableside, and I think there's a lot of dishes that you could describe Action Bronson with, but probably that one.
Next on the roster, Nas.
Nas. Our mortadella.
Ooh.
An OG cured meat that everybody loves. Doesn't matter how you prepare it, it's good.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yes. Next on the roster, Rick Ross.
Rick Ross.
Yeah, Rick Rose.
The big raviolo.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's the one. Next on the roster, we got Raekwon the chef from the Wu-Tang Clan.
Raekwon the chef. Our cavatelli dish.
Cavatelli.
Because the cavatelli has so many components, like the Wu-Tang Clan, and you know, a lot goes into it, and it comes together for a nice harmonious dish, just like just like Wu-Tang.
Beautiful. Oh man, you're a poet too. Lastly, 50 Cent.
I love 50 Cent.
Boom.
Can it be a feature?
Could be a feature.
Our agnolotti feature with truffles. Okay. We shave truffles all over it. I don't know, 50 Cent, get rich or die trying, whatever. So here we have our raviolo. So raviolo with our red wine butter sauce. We just make a large reduction of red wine. We bring it down. When it gets down to the bottom, we just steep it with a bunch of garlic, a little bit of black pepper, that's it. Super simple.
Amazing.
And then when it comes time for the actual pasta to be done, a little bit of water in there, we mount it with some butter. That's it. The whole key with this is just, you know, the work goes into the mise en place ahead of time, and then during service, you know, we make our lives a lot easier. And okay, a little bit of salt in there, a little bit more pepper. Once the sauce comes up, just finish it with a little squeeze of lemon. That's it. So after a couple minutes, just give the dough a little check, and into our sauce. Adjust the sauce if we need to. At that point, good. Very gentle. We haven't broken too many yet. We've been lucky. A little bit of sauce on top. A little shave of parm on top. Not too much. Oh well. That's it. That's our dish. Super simple. So as you can see here, if people want to do it themselves, we can do it themselves, but the servers and Tony love just doing that for them. Egg yolk, ricotta, red wine butter, it all just kind of becomes one on the plate. And that's our egg yolk raviolo.
Should I like take a bite of this?
Get into it.
Wow.
Try it out.
Oh my goodness, this is incredible. Oh wow. Oh my goodness.
We recommend people share this. You can definitely eat it yourself, but it's something, it's nice you share with 2 or 4 people or whatever.
Piece
right?
of bread.
Yeah, exactly.
Right there.
And we always have bread on the table.
That's prime real estate right there.
Exactly.
For the bread.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. Yeah, we're
Chef.
not shy. If anybody wants more bread, they get the bread, right?
God, man.
So this is our veal chop parm. This is a 14-ounce chop that we pound. We brine it in buttermilk, we salt it, and then we bread it. After breading it, we give it a little fry. Comes out of the fryer, a little bit of salt. And then we dress it with our pomodoro. This is just like our base tomato sauce that we use for everything. So just a little bit on top, not too much. And then some provolone on top. Not shy with the cheese. Just like that. That'll take a few minutes. So after a few minutes in the oven, cheese is nicely melted, starting to bubble. We just give it a final caramelization just to create a bit more flavor. Give it that beautiful, beautiful color. And we go fairly dark. We like to push it. Just like that. Healthy amount of chives on top. A little bit more Maldon salt just to finish. More pomodoro on the bottom of the plate here. Just like that. I like to finish it with a good plug of basil oil. That's our veal chop parm. Meant to be shared. Many people have tried to eat it by themselves.
Thank you, Sandro.
Thanks a lot, Chef. This is
Get it.
This is beautiful.
Forget about it.
Wow.
All right.
Thanks, Chef. Finally, we get to have supper together here at D.O.P. Your new restaurant here, an Italian joint. Welcome to Culture Roulette.
Well, thanks for having us. I've been a fan, so good job. I mean,
thank you so much.
Very engaging, and I'm honored to be, and Sandro and I to be here. So these like things. Before I know you, I just will describe what we're eating here first.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love that.
Sandro's kind of developed this menu in conjunction with like things that I love and like things that we ate as a child. So when you're coming in here, we have pickled green tomatoes, which is like a family recipe. You like salt them, extract water from them, day in vinegar, then packed in olive oil, garlic, and parsley. We have Sicilian anchovies, a little whipped ricotta, some grilled bread, and the veal chopped parmesan. You're gonna do the move of taking some bread with some whipped ricotta and then a white anchovy on top. That's the pro move. And then we're just drinking some wine from Calabria, which is Galliopo is the grape varietal, a lesser known region. My family's from Calabria. Librandi is the producer. And these very special glasses of wine that my dad used to drink out of.
Hey, cheers.
So cheers to that. This is like the old school Italian wine glass. There.
Oh. Beautiful, thank you so much. Your family's business, 20 years in the restaurant game. What kind of an influence did it have on you to this day, especially your father, Mario?
Yeah, oh man, it's an emotional question. Like on many aspects, I think the first being like you don't know you're absorbing it, right? Like osmosis, like it's happening. You're living it, and not always is it like great to be the kid of a restaurant owner because your dad can't do anything with you or a parent, but you get to take your friends to dinner at your restaurant, which is like, has to become also your living room and your dining room because we're always at the restaurant. Yeah, I think it's influenced everything that I've done. When shooting a lot of things at Sandro for D.O.P, he is hyper intelligent human that he is, was just like, what do you want? And that simple question sparked this journey of why we're doing it. And yeah, I want to eat the things I eat, and I want to introduce the things that were a staple of my family's meals all the time, that I would slowly have friends try, and they just like lose their mind, and then we go, why don't restaurants serve these things like pickled green tomatoes, you know? And then like comfort food like veal parmesan, I'd rather have it bone in and done to the size of your head. So I think the influence is there. I mean, like the influence is like, I think it's more again through the actions of every day, and like it's very at times challenging to be a restaurant owner, but when it's the most challenging is that's when I hear my dad's voice the most. And there's that like calm demeanor when things are busy. I'm kind of like that too. I could be a little bit of a lunatic when I have nothing to do. But if it's busy in here, like that's when I'm my most calm.
I love how your mom Rose has actually spent time with Chef Sandro to really incorporate some of those family recipes into, you know, every dish.
So like, especially coming from southwestern Ontario, where like Leamington was like tomato capital of Canada. So you'd get like what do you do with unripe tomatoes? It's a very like poor Southern Italian mentality to use everything. So how do we use a green tomato that like would have not, well, what do you do? It's unripe, the season's done. And so to think about like pickling them and jarring them, now it extends this life of something. Now I think we're paying more for unripe tomatoes than we are ripe because we go through so many, you know, and so.
Well, we should try them.
Yeah.
We should give it a whirl here. And yeah, I'm excited to taste all of this.
I mean, I touched up on that, but it's like, how can I like, I see people lose their mind over something that I've had my whole life. That's rewarding. Like, I mean, it's like we know out there we have a COVID world, and then being a restaurant owner is challenging. But the whole concept of like having an idea and seeing it through, and then seeing people accept that is like, I mean, you can't put a dollar figure on that. Like sitting as like a kid eating like this, and then working in restaurants and hotels to like kind of a little bit higher end food. Going, I'm like, I don't know if everyone wants to eat this way. And like people, I hope, and I think people want to eat this way.
That's delicious. Delicious. So what is the move you were talking about here with the cheese and the anchovies? What's your move here?
Okay,
I want to see it.
And this is where we convert people, because some people don't like anchovies, right?
Okay.
So there's your Action Bronson olive oil right there.
Oh my, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Hey Action, we love you, bro.
Yeah, shout out if you're there listening.
Shout out to Action Bronson. Actually, on that note, you know, I brought a little gift here today for the kitchen here.
That's amazing.
That's delicious by Action Bronson. All of his recipes for you.
Oh man, you're always full of gifts, brother.
To put it on the mantle here. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's going up.
Perfect timing.
I know this man is a huge fan of chicken parm, veal parm, so I think we do some justice in that.
Oh yeah.
That dish right there, which I've made 1,000 times in my life. So.
This is incredible, my friend. Holy. Salud.
This is how you know, Tony's family would eat, or most Italians would eat. Like, let's share like something, and you know, let's like, it's. I know people come out to eat, but something about bringing them back home or to my home is like what gets you through the long days.
We're in the space of former Bar Vonderfels, right?
Legendary.
Legendary indeed. I hear they're now located in the Ranchman's Club. So, you know, your Endeavor Pizza Face.
Yeah.
At the back here of Bar Vonderfels, we still see some memorabilia of Pizza Face. What can you tell the people about your love for pizza?
Oh, I'm growing up in Windsor, Ontario. Is a big pizza town. So if you get a chance later, there's a new documentary that came out called The Pizza Town No One's Heard Of. And it just kind of won in Portland. It's been in New Brunswick, and hopefully it's going to be in Cactus. It's amazing.
So Pizza Face, tell us about
what. I was saying, coming from a really big pizza town.
Yeah.
We come to Calgary and you're just like, where is it all? Like I know, like now we have like Noble Pie, we have Azuri, we have like Carmine's, we have, you know, there's so many down the road that have gotten, like everything's been elevated. But when I came here, it's like, you ever have Pizza 73? Like, I mean, like our base pizza in Windsor is like better than the best pizza here in a sense. So when I was sitting there with my buddy Mike, it's like, where do you order pizza from? You know, and so that kind of spawned the idea of like, other than like my uncle having a pizzeria and a bar and stuff like that, I never really made pizza. I just ate a lot of it. And I'm actually a front of house person at heart. So we just took this crazy endeavor and did pop-ups at Diner Deluxe and popped into different bars. And like, I've never had a business where we've had to learn everything the hard way. Like, you know, we've messed up dough, we've overproofed it, we've burnt our hair, we've burnt our skin, we've dropped the oven on us, like an 800-pound oven, learning the hard way. And then my partner, Mike, was on a honeymoon in New York when COVID hit. Will from here texted me, it was the Sunday, I think it was the 14th of March. Mm-hmm. They said they were going to close down everything on Tuesday, the 16th or 17th. By Thursday, we were in here with my oven in the back. I had prepped dough on the Monday. Thursday, we were like phone off the hook. We announced that we're doing pizza takeout and Vondervel's did takeout. I kind of explained this before, but it was like the world was shut down, but the 5 staff in here didn't feel like the world was shut. We were busy. We were still seeing people. The phone was going off nonstop. I think people grabbed takeout just so they can have some human interaction with us. Mm-hmm. And so I remember like having that buzz at the end of the night, like we just did a big service. We'd all have a beer together, and then going home to empty streets, empty everything, you know? And I feel like this like own story within itself of these two businesses that like thrived during COVID. And so like what is born of a really bad world situation is we, instead of touring the oven around, we got to serve 5 days a week, 50 to 60 pizzas a day, and like our pizzas got better every week. You have to do something 10,000 times to get good at it. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, what would have took 3 years, 2 years to expand a business, we did in 6 months. And like people knew, and now we're like, okay, Community Natural Foods, like we have a space, you want to come in here? And we did, and people followed. Now through the pop-ups and COVID, we developed like a Instagram following. And so now people know where you are, to the extent in which people actually watch Instagram. And, you know, yeah. But they know. And so now with our partnership with Community, we're in the Chinook location, and we have loyal customers, and we're like a rock. The pizza, and the staff there has been my saving grace, because then I opened here, and I was able to leave it to the fine staff I have there. And it's like every week it gets better. The minute I stepped a little bit away, people stepped up. And so that's a pizza journey, but it really started by wanting better pizza.
I have a little something for you here. I want you to tell me what this reminds you of.
Okay. You're really good at this.
Just unwrapping it, yeah.
Oh, right on. Well, we got Mario and Rose.
Got Mario and Rose.
Took me a minute, but I got it. And Super Mario's fitting, because my dad is like Superman to me, and Super Mario, so.
So what can you tell us about, you know, the influence of your mom Rose and your late father Mario? Like, what can you tell us?
The short of it, I opened, there's no short when I talk, it's always the long of it. When I opened Tavernetta,
yeah,
my dad got cancer. And so I had to like I was going back and forth from Ontario, well, he was going to London, to the hospital. And so my mom's like, we have to open back up, because the hard thing about a restaurant business, even if you're doing it for 20 years, if you close for 2 weeks, it sets you far back. More so, my parents always felt the obligation to keep their employees employed. So I went and I did my dad's role while he was in surgery and recovering, and I had to be him. And so to step into like what he does on a daily basis, I mean, it's quite crazy. Like, so these things that lie back here, they're kind of, I show them to like the staff. This is like the interview process. These are my dad's reservation books. Wow. And so when my mom passed me these right before we opened, it was fitting for everything. So we like go to a date, and you see all these names. My mom knows this is 2009 or 7. my mom knows that day who came in, the Gilmores, they know everybody on this thing. It's like a social club. But that's powerful for her because she knows the accordion player that day, and then that they stayed longer, that they had wine with everybody, that they danced and they laughed. And I think that's the most, I can't say heartache because it's like it was a great time, but that's the most moving thing is that, so when you make your reservation now, which is digitally, it's in there forever for me to remember. And so we create these stories for our staff. Like let's make our own book. And we have for 5-6 weeks. We've made people like love it and want to come back. We'll deal with hard customers and hard nights as they come. But like when you look at the grand scheme of things, when I see these, I just think of joy and happiness. Although I know behind the scenes there's a lot of hard work, sometimes screaming, sometimes yelling, perfectionism, and my dad was such a perfectionist. So, but when you look back, this is your life, right? And I mean, if I have hard nights and whatnot, I just look back at that and I can see. So my dad is like the pinnacle of everything I do. When I was closing the other day waiting for the dishwasher, I used to wait for the dishwasher with my dad when I was a kid, 18. Then when I could drink at 19, 20, I'd have a beer and I want to go home, I'm tired. He's like, just stay with me. Even if we didn't talk, just to be here. And then when I was doing it alone, waiting for him, I felt my dad there. And I was like, that's why he wanted me there. There's like, someone there means so much. So when I'm waiting for the the dishwasher to finish, I'm having a beer at the bar by myself, I don't feel alone. Yeah. And then that's, I mean, I don't know how much more powerful you can get every day that I do, if I'm having a slow day or if I'm having a hard day.
Well, your mom's still cooking. She's still in the kitchen. Yeah. Like she's going to be here soon.
I take her for granted. And that's like, I don't know if it's an Italian boy thing or like her love's unconditional. So sometimes I catch myself because like my dad's passed. So when you pass, you do get put on a little bit of pedestal. My dad couldn't be all the ways he was without my mom being the organizer in the back.
Do you recognize this picture at all?
Yeah.
Do you recognize that?
I'm good. I mean, that's...
So what happened to those loafers? Are they in like a bank vault or something?
I wish,
like
man.
That?
I wish.
So
it's so rad that you do that, but it does carry with us, right? Like,
there it is. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
How do you look at that style? We're at the zoo.
Oh my! They're called fringe loafers.
Yeah.
Right. My dad had fringe loafers, and my second grade communion, I had fringe loafers. So when I saw those on your dad, I'm thinking, wow. So have you worn them?
No, I haven't.
Fringe loafers?
I have. When I was a kid, my first communion, right? Like I had the whole penguin suit. But yeah, I mean, I always look at this photo, I laugh, like that's the attire you wore to the zoo. You're like, yeah. I'm gonna hike my socks and put dress shoes on and those short shorts. But kind of like those, like how like fashion always comes around. You're like, man, it looks like a hipster. Hipster dad.
Big time. And when I see your dad, when I was doing the research and I see your dad, I'm like, oh my God. Because, you know, you're a handsome guy, right? But then you see your dad and it's the spitting image of you.
Thank you.
Like, so do you ever dress up sometimes and you're like, oh man, this is like what dad.
I always just like my brother and I are bigger guys, and it was always funny. Like my dad worked at night as a server forever, right? So yeah. He brought us to school. He picked us up from school, and I mean, like, he was always the coolest dad. All like my friends would like run around him, and he was just like a very lovely. I mean, he had a lot of energy. You know, he had little nicknames for all the kids in the block, and just like he was full of energy, and that's like. I mean, that's like what I try to take from him is that, like, I know he passed, he left us early, but he lived. Like, he lived. Some people live to 100 but don't live. I mean, I know because we talked before he passed that he's like was happy with that he got to pass with next to his children and his grandchildren.
What are the origins of D.O.P?
It's a very good question. It's multi-leveled, but D.O.P is the Dominazione Originale Protetta, which is on San Marzano tomatoes, buffalo mozzarella, those things. So it's a protection agency. Like, Italy is the #1 exporter of everything. But over time, you have fake Italian products that have made it to North America, like Kraft Parmesan.
Right.
And so, which is like shelf stable.
Oh, it's terrible.
From a certain area, from a certain origin.
Yeah.
it is indicative of quality. So if I put it on the window, hopefully it's indicative of what's inside of quality. I grew up in Italian restaurants, and like having people to pronounce Italian names is challenging. So I also thought like D.O.P, 3 letters.
Right.
Your grandma can say it, everyone just knows what it is, right? D.O.P, whatever people say. But
what's really the philosophy that you pride yourself on here, the kind of non-negotiable rules for you here at D.O.P?
Everyone's got to be greeted at the door. If you're opening a wine, you stop, you say, sorry, just 1 sec, we'll be with you in 1 second. The person at the bar has to greet them, and within 2 minutes, the third server has to greet them. Everyone has to feel inclusive. I've been in this industry for a very long time. When I walk into a restaurant, I'm nervous. If I get ignored at the door, I want to leave, even if I made that reservation 2 months in advance. My partner, she knows. She's like, "Are you gonna make it through this?" And I'm like, "Okay." I'm internalized for a second. I'm like, "Okay, I can get through that." But if they greet you and they win you at the door, it's sit me anywhere, by the bathroom, anywhere. Like, that's the inclusiveness. And everyone's important when they walk through that door. You're walking through the door of your house, like when your family, Christmas time, you walk in and like, hey, like, you have to give them that like Japanese culture greeting.
Yes, at an izakaya house.
Yeah, there's like a little Italian-Canadian feeling, like when you walk into Italian-Canadian house and everyone's like, hey, Tony, like, that like builds that person up. And I see people walk in here like they probably took them 2 weeks to get a reservation. They heard so much about it. They're like timid. They're like, now you got to show your card and stuff like that. And I greet them first, and I say, okay, I'll get to your specifics. But like, you know, people are so scared now. They come to the door like this, your vaccine card, and I was like, just take it down. Hey, I'm Tony. Welcome. You guys, let's whatever chaos is going on outside of these walls, we're just gonna have a good time. And again, what do you want to do when you open a restaurant? You listen to the music, it's like people jiving it that are our age.
What can you tell us about the Arcade Fire, my friend?
My favorite band? One of my favorite bands. I like you pulled this one out. This album was really great too. I think we're just chatting. I mean, the last time I ever, and probably will ever wait in line for an album was when I lived in Vancouver and Neon Bible came out. It was like a famous record store on West 4th or somewhere. And it was like, I got there and it was lined up around the corner, and then I kind of knew with the changing of like digital media that I'm like, I don't think anybody's ever gonna line up for an album. On many levels, like, you know, if you play this album from beginning to end, you know it. You're gonna be in the shower, it's gonna be like good days and bad days. So, I mean, for that sense, that's what the beauty of music is. But when my dad was sick and there were tours going on, I had to miss it here. But it wasn't even online or on the t-shirts or anything, but they did a stop at Windsor, at the Windsor Arena. I said to one of my best friends there, we went, and I just got up there and they started playing, and I was just like crying, like the whole concert. Of all the things that were going on in my personal life, all the things that were going on with my dad, and like this band that had been there for me for so long was playing, and I was right there in a 5,000 person venue, and it was like tears of joy and sadness, and like a shower came over me. I remember leaving that concert and I was just like, not everything's gonna be okay, but like, okay, I got it out. Something was in here that I wasn't expressing. And so, yeah, I mean, Arcade Fire.
So where are we right now, Tony?
We're right next to the dish pit and our little wine cellar, which has like been perfectly climatized because there was a wine bar before. So our friend Will had this perfectly temperatured cellar, which we've carted our own collection. And obviously it's kind of tight. You see there's eggs behind you, and liquor stuff. Like, I do my work in here. Sometimes if like a friend's down and it's busy upstairs, we'll just have a quick bite here. Okay, this is my favorite. So I remember having in Rome buffalo milk gelato, but this is kind of similar. It's fior di latte gelato made from Noto Gelato in Bridgeland. So it's got a little bit of a savory note. We hit it again with the olive oil from Action Bronson, sea salt, fennel pollen, and honey. I want you to bite it first because there's like a lot of flavors going on. Get a little bit of everything in there.
Oh my goodness, that's wild.
Crazy.
Fennel.
That's a reaction. Like, it's a moment to like taste everything. Like, you get the gelato's not super sweet, so you get a savoriness, and then you're like, is that salt? Is that fennel pollen? And then the olive oil, which is like rich as well. And
Oh my goodness! Wow, that's it. Well, hey, Tony, thank you so much for having us here today at D.O.P. We love you, man. We love you. We appreciate you.
Cheers.